With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Welcome to the Backpacking Blisters podcast, brought to you by the Ultralight quilt, trusted by the best backpackers, Enlightened Equipment. Lighten your load at enlightenedequipment.com. With me today is a man who has successfully hiked the most famous long trails of the world, but somehow struggles to read a calendar. Vince Strawbridge, how's it going today, my friend?
Yeah, that's right. Those are accurate accusations right there. Yep.
Both of them. Well, somehow we got this scheduled and we're making it happen. I'm excited about it. So,
yeah, here we are.
I thought you were going to throw it right back in my face and say, well, maybe if you had your calendar correct.
The nice thing about the long trail is once you're dropped into a long trail, all you got to do is count days. You don't have to worry about dates and things like that. Like, and what's an hour more or less? I think in the sun, I'm more, in that circadian rhythm is the way that I like.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where your strength is, you're saying.
Well, I would say that, except that I do remember having a very difficult time on one of our trails trying to calculate when I would reach a certain place 8 days away. And there's a big difference between 8 days and the 8th day, which I kept getting wrong.
That's true, because you got to count it differently for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, for folks who don't know why you're super famous in the hiking world, can you briefly tell them what you're known for?
Well, I took my family, my wife and I took our 4 kids hiking in 2018 down the Pacific Crest Trail. We successfully thru-hiked the Pacific Crest Trail. I came home.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids.
Yeah. So 4 kids, and so family is 6.
Yeah, family 6. My youngest at the time was 11, and we completed that trail. And I came home and kicked my feet around in the sand for a year back here in Florida. And I was like, let's go do those other 2 trails. And so we went and did.
Just casually saying that.
Well, yeah, let me tell you something. My timing is excellent. I can't keep a calendar. I can't time a thing. I walked in. My wife had spent a recovery period from our Pacific Crest Trail. We were homeschooled. So she had been reworking the homeschool calendar, gotten us all caught up, and had planned their whole high school career. And I walked in the day after she'd got it all pen to paper and said, hey, I got an idea. I really want to go hike those trails. So we went to some, marriage counseling for a while, and eventually came to terms, and then went and hiked a couple of long trails.
Wait, are you being serious?
100%. Yeah. No, it's even worse than that, Carl. No, it's even worse than that. My uncle, my wife and I were bickering about it. We could not come to terms with it. And everybody, of course, as you can imagine, everyone was on her team, right? Like you and I, and maybe some of your listeners, and that's the only people in the world think this is a good idea. No one else thinks this is a good idea. In fact, when I came home from having hiked the Pacific Crest Trail, we were the largest family ever to have done so, which I thought was, pretty cool. Yeah. Well, my uncle said, what does it feel like to have done something no one else in the world has ever done, but be a joke in your hometown?
Ooh. Was that like a sarcastic question, or is that like a...
He actually said, what does it feel like not to be regarded in your hometown for the thing that you did? That's the way he clarified it later, but I didn't hear it that way at first. But anyway, he said, you two are bickering like a couple of unbelievers. What is wrong with you? Like, why are you at each other's throats? And I said, it's a good question. I don't know, but I'm about to give up because everybody says I'm crazy. And then he said, why is it that the person with the outlandish or crazy idea is wrong by default? So then he suggested, and we took his advice, to get 4 couples of friends of ours that were 4 married couples, and we asked them to sit in a room with us and watch us fight about it.
Okay.
So we did about 4 meetings of that.
You got some good friends, man.
The
4
first
meetings of like watch us argue?
Unbelievable. Well, listen, honestly though, it's like a train wreck. Like if you like you just invite people to a marriage fight, are you kidding me? You can sell tickets. But we did about 4 meetings of that, and by the 4th one, I think she had conceded. But in the meantime, because at the first meeting they said we need to get you 2 in some serious counseling, so we went over to this guy and met with this guy, and he was very, very helpful. He gave us a book that was really good to read, and I was immediately enamored of some sort of, I would say, methods of communication across a disagreement that were very valuable to us. In fact, what was really cool was when she finally said, okay, I'll go, was after a meeting that was, I didn't feel like we made a lot of progress, or one way, me moving toward her or her moving toward me, but she left and she was like, you know what? I don't see it. And I don't feel toward it the same way that you feel, but I'll go. Like I'm willing to go.
Sounds like he won that battle then.
In some way, Carl, in some way, you might feel that way, but I would say I was fighting for her, because my wife lights up when she gets out there on a long trail. Like there's something different about that experience for her that's really unique and wonderful. And I was on a podcast recently, and she listens to it and called me and was crying and said that was the best thing we ever did. Like, I'm so glad we did that. So.
Oh yeah. After reflecting about it and hearing you tell the story. Yeah.
So Continental Divide was second, and then we did the Appalachian Trail.
All that to say, you've got a lot of trail credibility from the Thru-Hikers perspective. If there's ever somebody that could go toe-to-toe with me about Thru-Hikers versus backpackers, I feel like you are the most qualified, at least the most qualified that I know. Is that fair to say?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who you know. I mean, I'll take it. And if there's one thing I can do, is pretend to be in the know. So I'm happy to do that. Like, if you need me to fill that role.
I know a lot of YouTubers that are pretend backpackers.
Yeah.
Or they used to backpack, so there's that.
Well, if you got a green screen, you could maybe even broadcast from the trail,
Oh, hey, I've done that. We've done that before. We've done a couple podcasts on the trail. They're a lot of fun, actually. My typical co-host Derek does not like doing that, but I have a good time with it. All right, Bible verse of the episode, Proverbs 4:12. When you walk, your step will not be hampered, and if you run, you will not stumble. So this verse is talking about walking in wisdom. Speaking of that, Vince, what's the most unwise decision you've made on the trail?
Oh my goodness. Like this is complicated because there's so many. It's very hard to choose. But I'm going to say we were bunkered in one morning. So this is Colorado, September, early ice storm. I think the earliest on record of that severity, and it ripped all the forest up over Winter Park, Grand Lake,
Wow,
that kind of area, Granby, that area. And we had gotten off trail in the middle of the worst of the storm, we thought, and went down to Denver to resupply for the second half of the Continental Divide Trail, and then went back in. On the way in, we could see all the forest just ripped to shreds. It was crazy.
right.
And then we got out there and got to, I don't know which lake it was. I think it's probably Lake Granby, probably. I don't know. But anyway, we set out southbound out of that lake, and it was, Tinker Toys like stacked all over trees like crazy. We made about 3 miles in 8 hours. It took us.
Oh yeah.
Everything was fine until we got toward the evening, and we're walking. As soon as we kind of get out of the last of the trees at or near tree line, it started snowing on us and got pretty socked in. And so we set up our tents, and we weren't going back, trying to go back across that the next day. But we woke up in the morning with all white out going up over the pass. Like, it was crazy. And you couldn't see anything. And I had a daughter who I did not know at the time, but was severely anemic. So she'd get toward altitude and have a really hard time going anywhere. I just looked at her. I said, listen, this morning we have to stay together. Whatever we do, we have to stay together.
Right.
And we started up these switchbacks that you could barely see. Like, they were kind of just impressions in the snow. And we all set out together. Well, I turned back, and she's 2 switchbacks down. And I said, June, I told you we got to stay together. And rather than go back and set up camp, which is probably what I should have done, I said, well, I'll go back and walk with her. You guys go up over the top. but I had waited long enough that everybody had already gotten really cold. And so I essentially sent,
Oh, wow.
we were supposed to go to one party. We ended up going toward a whiteout pass and into a
Yeah.
whiteout pass as 3 different parties. And June and I then were last, and we got to the top. And once you got to the top, it was all wind blown and iced over. And so you couldn't even see a trail. So I had no idea where they were, whether we'd find them, anything. So it took it was about a mile later before I could tell that all their footprints were out ahead of us in the snow.
So don't go towards a whiteout pass like with your, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, with your sending your children to navigate a trail. Now, I don't want to over sensationalize it. We're talking about kids who by that point had walked about 3,000 miles in the wilderness. So they had some reasonable savvy. Worst case scenario, they probably would have gotten down out of altitude, even if it was off trail, and just bunkered in somewhere. So they had some trail savvy to them, but it was not fun. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that story. That's crazy. So
more stories to come. Don't worry.
Yeah. But sometimes that's right. Sometimes, you want to make, you're trying to get to point B. And so you're like, well, is it worth the risks? Take these calculated risks. And then in retrospect, good idea, bad idea. But, like you said, you had a lot of experience, so you just went for it. So I get the thought process for sure. But sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it worked out. It worked out in the end, right? So there you go. All right. So with that story, I'm not going to pick on that story, just so you know, but we're gonna do a comparison here between just what I call real backpackers and Thru-Hikers. And so this is like a versus episode. So
define. So backpacker is like, we're talking 3-4 day short.
Yeah, like 3 to 5 day. I mean, some backpackers go longer. They may go 7 to 10.
So we're not talking like, you can't be a car camper and somehow slip into that category, right?
No.
Because obviously we're all making fun of those people.
I'm a car camper. You can make fun of me if you want to. I way more prefer backpacking. When I go car camping, I have a good time. But as I'm packing up, both like to get there and to leave, I'm like, this is too much stuff. This is so much stinking stuff. So I prefer the backpacking, to be honest. But yeah, I still go car camping. Yeah, you can make fun of me if you want to.
My problem with car camping is that I take my ultralight through hiking gear, and I'm really like, everyone else is having a great time with their smokers, all their gear, televisions set up in their little camping spot. And
right.
Like, what am I supposed to do here?
For me, it's like bringing the bikes. Now you're bringing, because you're going to bike around the area, or you get the helmets, and then it's a whole other set of gear. But anyway, so we're going to make accusations about each other. So I'm going to kind of point out the downside of through hiking, and then you're going to do the same for backpacking. And then we've got these note cards where we're going to just say, we're going to own it if what each other's saying is true. And then if we disagree, we're going to point that out as well. And then we might even, I don't know, I have this card right here, offensive right here, where you've said something that is so out of bounds that it's just like straight up offensive. So that's where we're going with this. For me, the measuring stick of my success is if I make a comment that really bothers you, like you're really bothered, then I feel like I'm successful. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
All right, so let's see here. I've got, I think we're just going to go back and forth here. I'm trying to think if there's any other rules that I forgot, but it was good to define the backpacker. I think typically, though, you're right, 3 to 5 days is like a common like backpacking time frame. So, all right, I got 4 or 5. Is that what you got?
Sure.
Wait, you're saying sure. Are you prepared? Do you have a list ready to go?
See, when you say prepared, I like to fly a little bit by the seat of my pants, and I'm going to try to react to the things that you're saying and try to one-up you with greater offense. So I've kind of cheated. Now, I want to also open it up to allow you then to modify yours to greater and greater offense as well.
Okay. There we go. Please subscribe to our show for backpacking podcast hosts that are very prepared here. I sent you the outline yesterday, and we talked about this.
I'm just joking. I wrote some stuff down. I just don't know that I want to read those anymore because I didn't realize the degree that we were going after each other. So I feel like I've got a holler.
Oh, okay. So I'm up in the ante here, I guess is what you're saying. Yeah. But you fit right in on the show as a co-host because I talk to Derek all the time. He's like, wait, I thought you said this. Wait, what are we doing? Wait, what's this episode about? Okay.
Oh, where are we?
Yeah, where are we? Is this recording? Are we on right now? Okay, so here we go. So I guess I got to start first then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Backpackers are better than thru-hikers because thru-hikers smell worse than the bottom of a porta potty.
Disagree.
You don't think they smell like a porta potty?
Well, make your case. I'm ready.
Well, I mean, I'm just going off of experience because I've done plenty of trails where we're encountering thru-hikers from the Pacific Crest Trail and then the Continental Divide Trail most recently, and like you can smell them coming before you see them. Like truly, this is no exaggeration. And then there was one woman that we encountered on the Continental Divide Trail a couple years back where we were standing pretty far back. We were not in her personal zone, and she literally smelled like the strongest, almost like if you peed in a toilet and then left it there for a week, like that's what she smelled like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you got to, like, I get body odor. I don't know why you smell like bathroom, though. Like, I don't get that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to make your miles. So sometimes you don't have time to, like, shake off the extra. You just got to keep moving,
Shake off the extra.
Zap the weight throwing back in place and keep moving. Because there's always a stream you can dunk in. In theory, that'll get it washed out. I don't know. I would say I have 2 counters to this, and I think I'm in good standing here with this.
Okay.
There's nothing more. I mean, you're going to have body odor even as a backpacker. Day 2 probably out there, even if you're applying some.
Not if you bring deodorant.
That's a luxury item, and you got to make hard choices, So if I'm carrying deodorant, even if I'm carrying deodorant, I'd say, and I'm working hard enough, that I'm going to get the blend effect. Body odor and the attempt to cover it, which to me, that's more offensive than just straight body odor. So that's one thing. The other is, I think there's a degree to which body odor has like a perception. It depends on what your perspective is, right? If you're approaching the person, sure, they have more body odor, but a backpacker can smell themselves because they have a memory of themselves not smelling that way. But a thru-hiker so acclimates with the experience.
But body odor smells differently on different people. So even if I'm used to my own body odor smell, your body odor smells me way different.
But it's my body odor. I don't even smell it anymore. Have you been, I mean, like 3 weeks into a thru-hike when you consider things like, I don't know, deodorant to be a luxury item, you're so acclimated to this, you don't even smell it. Now, I will say, I can't remember a time when my family caught a hitch from a trailhead or from a road to town, and the driver didn't roll down the windows. And if they know what's coming, they're already down. Like that.
I just assume they threw you in like the bed of the truck when you're talking about that last story there. So like they don't.
That would be the case. Yeah. So
okay.
I think it depends on where you're standing. If you're the smeller, sure. But if you're the thru-hiker, you don't really, that affected by your own body odor.
Yeah, I think from the backpacking perspective, nobody's buying what you're saying here. So you can try to legitimize it and rationalize it, but yeah, it's potent. Okay, what you got? What's your next one? Or first one?
All right. Thru-hikers are better for the local economies.
Okay, you're not making, that's not an accusation. That's just you're pumping up your own group right there.
Backpackers are not good for the local economy.
Why not? Okay, I'm going to go with, I got a big fat no on that one. Like, backpacker, okay, so I'm trying to think of what thru-hikers are doing differently. Like, backpackers are eating locally in the areas that they're typically backpacking. A lot of them will stay overnight in those local areas. I guess the only thing they're maybe not doing is maybe not buying gear typically locally, where maybe thru-hikers have to kind of like, buy things that have broken or replace some things. So what's the difference?
All right, so this is going to be my argument and it has entirely to do with quantity of consumption, because having budgeted for an entire thru-hike with an 11-year-old, I thought surely this is going to be fine because I was thinking kids meals at the restaurant. But within about 3 to 4 weeks, I'm buying 2 full entrees for my 11-year-old to get her in and out of town. So by the time I hit the AT, I had to set up a resupply schedule that kept me on trail and out of town, because if I set foot in town, I was spending an enormous amount of money.
Wow. Okay, that's a good point.
6,000 calories a day.
All right, I'm going to go with, I'm going to change mine to somewhat agree.
Oh.
Okay.
I like it.
Because that's a really good point. I didn't think about the amount of food, because you do get the hiker hunger for sure. Yeah, the kids' meals, I don't know if I would have planned. Yeah, the kids meals, like, I get what your thought process is there, but I could see thinking that maybe they wouldn't have the kids meals and you'd have to upgrade to like an adult size meal. But like a double entree is crazy. So I'm with you on that one. I would not anticipate that.
There's a guy we met on the trail, and his name was Tak, and he was 68 years old, and he was amazing. But I said, and this was early on our first through hike, and I said, tell me what's one thing I have to know that that's going to save me. What's the best tip you can give me? And he said, well, son, I'll tell you this. You can spend money in town, just don't spend time. I was like, oh, he saved me thousands of dollars.
Yeah. That being said, is that really like a point for through hikers? Like, what's great about us is we're just helping out all these local economies. Like, that's not why you're going backpacking. You're not getting on the trail because you're like, our goal is to help out all these small towns that happen to dot the line of the trail going from south to north or vice versa. Like, you're trying to go out there for adventure. So that's like a positive byproduct, but that's not your purpose, right?
Well, I mean, I might throw that back at you and say the purpose wasn't to smell nice for the passersby. So
touche. Okay. My next one is, so I've read some through hiking books and then I've watched some through hiking documentaries, and I feel like you can boil their stories down, possibly your story down, to just two things. Through hikers are all about miles and town food. When's the next town? When's the next restaurant? And how many stinking miles are we doing today?
Somewhat agree. Yeah, I'm going to give you a somewhat agree on that one. That's a solid point. And really, it's more than anything, it's confessional. I would say not every through hiker is this way, but you've tapped into a real problem that I have. And if I were to say disagree and try to argue my point, and my wife were to watch this, she would be mad at me for not telling the truth. Because I'm a miles guy. I mean, 100% miles guy. And I will say this, 3 to 4 days out into a section when you're pushing 20 plus miles a day, the kids would start naming passes and naming peaks and naming campsites after food. So I have met through hikers that are not like me in that, but I will say that probably by and large, that's a reasonable accusation.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I'm going to take a point on that one. All right. What you got? What's your next one?
Backpackers carry way too much stuff.
I got agree with an exclamation point. I think that if you're talking about most backpackers, I think that is 100% true. I don't know why their packs are so heavy, and I've really tried to dial that back for me personally, but I would say like 80% of backpackers, even with like bringing a couple luxuries because you're not doing as many miles like through hikers, I think it is crazy. Like if you're not doing like a long food carry or long water carry, I don't like your pack being over 30 pounds unless you're like some sort of videographer. I don't get it. What do you see that's too much? Like, what are you seeing the big problem areas?
You just see it like everything. Like even if you broke it down, I'd say, I mean, this one could get me in trouble, but a med kit for me is Neosporin and tape. Like what more do you need? Like a Band-Aid's not really going to work. Why is that in there? Gauze? What are you going to do with that? You got to pack a wound, tear up a shirt, and stuff it in. We're not trying to protect from infection. We're just trying to get you the heck out of the woods. If it's that bad, you're not staying. So it's not like you're going to do constant wound
So wait, so you don't bring gauze?
No gauze.
On your trips?
No, I bring tape, Neosporin, and ibuprofen. That's it. And the tape could double as tent tape, and it's usually KT tape because that's kind of the best.
The tape thing, we could probably do a whole episode on tape because people are like very particular with their tapes. There's like 3 tapes out there that are like, tenacious tape or whatever. They're like, this is the best tape.
No, that's exactly right. I have tenacious tape for my tent. I have Leuco tape for certain applications, duct tape for this, and KT tape for something else. You need one tape. That's all you need.
Yeah,
one tape.
I'm with you. I only bring one tape, but I think I brought the KT tape on my last trip. So, yeah, but I'm not a tape expert, so there might be better ones out there. The
areas where I would concede, so this is what I'll say. I will say a backpacker's pack should probably be heavier because they're not going for the upscale ultralight gear. So the tent's going to be heavier, granted. It's the redundancy that becomes problematic. I never carry, not even on a through hike when I know I'm going to be spending the day in town, I never carry any more clothes than I could conceivably be wearing at one moment.
Right.
At the coldest temperature, that's the outfit I carry. So it's layering.
Okay.
It's layering, but it's just that. I don't have a town shirt. I don't have an extra shirt. I don't have an extra pair of shorts. I got one pair of shorts.
Right.
So I often find that in clothes, you can end up with 5 extra pounds in clothes for no reason at all.
Yeah, the clothes is a big one for sure.
Right.
And I'm pretty aggressive even with leaving mid layers behind depending upon, like I look at the weather forecast for sure. So I think clothing's a big one, but you're kind of blowing my mind with the, I don't, like my first aid kit doesn't weigh that much. So even if I take out all the extra things you're suggesting, I might cut like half to maybe 1 ounce, but it's still, I like the simplification of it. So that's really interesting.
Here's a question. Do you carry a knife and scissors?
No, I carry a very small, like 1-inch knife, and that's it. I don't carry scissors.
Okay. Do you carry a headlamp or a flashlight?
So this is a different episode about like taking calculated risks, but if I don't think that I'm going to be hiking late, like if we're not, then I'm not bringing a headlamp at all. First of all, I don't carry a flashlight. If I'm doing a lot of miles where there's potential, then I'll bring a lightweight headlamp.
All right. You're right. That's another episode. I'm just trying to think of but it's areas of redundancy that I often see that I think.
I mean, technically, your phone is a flashlight. So if you have a headlamp or a flashlight and your phone, you got 2.
Uh-huh.
All right. My next one is Mesopotamians have better shelter standards than thru-hikers. I'm talking thru-hikers are fine to be inside porta potties. They're fine to be in shelters that are mice and rat infested. What do you think about that?
Somewhat disagree. And I think it's trail specific for me. If you mean Appalachian Trail thru-hiker, I probably strongly agree if it's Appalachian Trail. The Appalachian has a requirement that you stay in or near the shelters. And so people tend to do that for the most part. And so they do congregate in those areas and they are rat infested. And I do think thru-hikers are less concerned with that.
Disgusting.
And I will say that there's possibility that I've stayed in a porta potty overnight before thinking it preferable to the outdoors.
That's so gross. That's so gross.
But it really was preferable to the outdoors at that moment.
Right. I just have never had to be in that situation. On top of that, I know some thru-hikers that like they just get so fatigued. They're like, I've got a shelter, I got a tarp, I got a lightweight tent. I'm so tired. I'm just gonna roll myself up into like a little taco with my rain fly or whatever. Or there's like a kid. We had a kid on our show that was trying to do the calendar year Triple Crown and he had like a 3-pound base weight. He wasn't even bringing a shelter. He just like took naps in the shade during the day. Like he didn't even, and so like bugs are crawling all over him. So that's my point.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I think it comes down to your accusation earlier about the two things that typify a thru-hiker. I run calculations throughout the day about how many miles and minutes, and each minute costs me this much. So if I can avoid setting up a shelter, man, that's more walking time. Yeah, because you do have walking as more of an aim, and you have more potential to walk. It's not like if you're a backpacker, you got a lot more time during the day because you can't walk all day. But once you're a thru-hiker, you really can after you get acclimated. So and that's mine. That leads me to mine. Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine is backpackers waste the best walking times of the day.
I'm gonna say somewhat agree on that one. If you're talking about like the morning where they're just kind of lounging around, I'll say somewhat agree because in the morning. Like I really like getting out in the morning and going. And if you're in a group and there's somebody like, I got to have my morning coffee and sit around for the next hour and a half. Like if you got a good view, I get it, but I really do enjoy the morning.
I'm also a little partial to the late evening, kind of, like a ridge walk at dusk with sun setting, like is pretty fantastic. Now it's nice, I guess, to sit around.
I want to get my camp set up before it's dark. I don't really enjoy setting up camp at dark, and I like earning my meal so I can enjoy the view a little bit, have a nice warm package of freeze-dried food in my hand to warm my hands, and earn that 800 calories or whatever it is. I like that. So, yeah. That's why I say somewhat. I like the morning, though. I like getting out. Like, I don't like lounge, especially if it's cold in the morning. I don't want to, like, sit there and lounge around and just, like, suffer in the cold. Like, let's get going. Let's get our bodies moving. All right, I got one more. Thru-Hikers are willing to leave squish bugs on their arms and legs, possibly to eat later.
That's a strongly agree. You could tell a day hiker from a backpacker. A day hiker will walk up and see a Skittle and kick it off the trail. A backpacker, pick it up, blow it off, and put it in his mouth. A Thru-Hiker will just pick it up and put it in his mouth.
The joke that I found online when I was researching this was that the Thru-Hikers will not only pick it up and eat it, but they'll actually dig into the ground looking for more.
Oh, yeah. My kids. So I don't know if somebody did it on purpose, but when we crossed into California from Oregon on our Pacific Crest Trail through hike, there was a pile of Skittles. And I think I've even got it on video, but they were picking Skittles up off the ground and eating them right at the border there.
Like somebody had like a hole in their Skittles bag and it was like spilling on the ground.
Yeah, who knows? I think we told that story to somebody later on, and it turned out that they were his Skittles, and he offered them some more that day when we saw him at the midpoint.
That's nice.
So, yeah.
In California, are Skittles even like legal in California anymore? They've like outlawed all that food dye stuff.
They probably were at the time, and they're outlawed now, but we would have smuggled them on the trail if we could. I mean, we got them in.
Okay, smuggling Skittles. All right, Vince, you got one more for me?
Yeah, mine is actually, it's going to reflect backward toward the other one, and it is that backpackers eat their big meal at the wrong time of the day.
I say no on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I figured you would after what you told me the last round.
yeah, so you think that the dinner is the wrong time of day to like really replenish the calories.
Mm-hmm.
You want to load up, put a brick in your stomach for breakfast is what you're saying.
No, it's the middle of the day. The lunch.
Okay.
Lunch is the cooked meal, the big meal.
If it's like cool or cold outside, having a hot lunch is amazing. But if it's hot outside, do you want to have a hot lunch?
I don't really. Actually, I cold soak, so I'm just talking the big meal. The big meal is midday.
Oh, gross.
So for me, and I actually can use the heat because I just put it in a jar and let the sun warm it up, and it gets a little bit warmer. But I like the meal there because I can divide the day up into two giant chunks with a long lunch. I can take my time, be lazy, cook and eat, and then take off. I don't like the evening because you're sitting around, it's getting dark, it's getting cold, you're really tired. You don't want to be slowing down, getting cold in camp, making that big meal. I like a tortilla and fall on the ground and into my sleeping bag.
And maybe it's a cultural difference here as far as like you're so used to culturally as a backpacker enjoying that big meal in the middle of the day. But if I've had a really amazing meal at lunchtime and I'm like, oh, that was so good, like getting back up and going again would be so difficult.
Yeah.
That's my argument. Okay, I think we had 8 total there going back and forth. So who won? Thru-Hikers versus backpackers. Please weigh in. I think people are going to be partial to me because I got more backpackers than Thru-Hikers part of this podcast. But you made some good points, though. I mean, I got to give you credit. You made some good points. Let's be honest. If you're still bringing a beat-up cardboard sign to the summit, it's time for an upgrade to your gear list with something that's probably missing. Summit Something makes ultralight, packable summit flags designed for hikers and climbers who want to capture the moment and keep it forever. These summit flags feature clean, iconic designs of the peaks you've climbed, so your summit photos actually look as epic as the experience you felt. And when you get home, it's not trash, it's a keepsake. Something you hang on your wall and remember, I did that. If you got a big climb coming up or just knocked one off your list, grab your summit flag at summitsomething.com. If you're looking for a sign, this is it.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 15th through the 28th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
All right, here we go. Lightning round. You got 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. So I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about the speed round.
I always start soft, and then we get more complicated. It's low risk here, so you're pretty savvy. I think you'll be fine. Here we go. What is the toughest backpacking terrain?
Swamp.
The toughest thing about bringing kids?
Bringing kids.
Best camp activity?
Sleeping.
The best fast food place?
Ooh, Chick-fil-A.
Your least favorite chore in general?
Making the bed.
What are your thoughts on time travel?
It was fun.
Least favorite shoe brand?
Ooh, New Balance.
Your favorite astronaut?
Leif Erikson.
Your favorite trail snack?
Skittles.
In time. Wow. All right. You did pretty good there. I think you got 9. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, you got 9 questions, which is above average. Well done.
Okay. Super.
And I threw you off with your favorite astronaut. You had some questionable answers with Leif Erikson and is it astronaut? He's an explorer.
Yeah, but he and I traveled to the future, so I was kind of trying to play into that theme there.
Your thoughts on time travel? It's fun. What is that?
I met a guy in 1999 when I was hitchhiking in New Zealand. He picked me up with a Pinto with the Airstream camper on the back, and we're riding on the South Island. And it turns out he's a herb gatherer, and he's warning me about how we're all going to come total in the year 2000. But at some point, he looked over at me and he says, "I recognize your profile." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Recognize my profile?" He's like, "You're Middle Earth, aren't you?" And I said, "I still don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "We fought in the Viking Wars together." But I can't remember if we were.
My goodness.
I can't remember if we fought against each other or with each other.
At that point, since you're getting the ride, I'd be like, I think we're on the same side.
Yeah. For the purposes of tonight, can we just call us even? Like let's say we were
truce.
on the same side.
Truce. Yeah, there's all sorts of strange beliefs about battles and ancient civilizations and other, I don't know, I guess attribute that to time travel. I just thought that's like, I was just curious what you thought. Like, I think it can exist. I think it's possible. I think it's nonsense. But no, yeah, it's crazy. You're like, I met a guy. I met a guy once. I don't know if I can count your answer about the toughest thing about bringing kids is bringing kids. Like you're just repeating the question at that point.
Yeah, I think that's probably reasonable, but a genuine response is you have to adjust your pace to theirs. That's a true response.
Yeah, which could be true with adults too, of course, right?
Yeah.
Early in the episode, you referenced the book that you wrote after the Pacific Crest Trail. So tell us about your book, how we can find it, and anything else you want to share about it.
Oh, yeah. My book is called Pretty Good at Walking, but I really did write it to try to find out what happened out there because, you come back and everybody says, man, your kids are going to have gotten so much from this. Like their lives will be forever different, which I think is true. But I did think, well, how did that happen? Like what happened? And so I thought, I'm going to write the book so they have it and they have it to remember, but also so I can kind of discover what it was that was transformative about that experience. What I limited myself to very deliberately was a say what you see kind of approach. I said I could only tell what is true and what I see and be very practical and straightforward in the sense of storytelling, not in the sense of like, what happened here was so profound because whatever. But it was just to remember and make it a remembering and almost a journal, not so much a journal, but just really truly telling a story, which is great because you have a cast of crazy characters. Like all my kids are so unique, so different. When I finished it, it was about 70% dialogue. It was crazy how much of it was dialogue. But I was remembering ways that they had spoken and things that they had said, and I would run it by them. But just to get to retell the whole story and sort of discover in it the magic that is present in a trail. Like, so it is no accident that people who help people on the trail are called trail angels. It's no accident it's called trail magic. You open yourself to I would say providence. I think you would say providence, but a serendipity, I think, is the way most people on trail would describe it. It's have need met in really miraculous ways. And that was our experience. Just when we needed rest, we found it. Just when we needed shelter, we found it. Like all these things where you expose yourself to elements and they're overwhelmed by the satisfaction or fulfillment of the need. So it was really cool. And I loved getting to write the book. It's on Amazon, all of those. It's available in Audible too, an audio version.
But hey, we're gonna have the link in our show description, and so you can check it out down there. And in case you can't tell, Vince is engaging and he's a crazy character. So I haven't checked it out yet. I need to check out your book because I bet it's filled with all these fun stories and more. So check that out. Man, it's been awesome having you co-host the episode. This has been great.
Oh, yeah. Listen, it was really great. Like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right. So that's all we got. Remember, folks, if you enjoy smelling like trash and eating Spam and ramen, just call yourself a Thru-Hiker.
Yeah.
Have a good week and God bless.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.